So you get a newbie on this road and they don't realize that maybe there's a pothole or there's a little dip in a specific area. You know, because you're used to traveling that road, you get to go around the dip. So maybe you kind of veer to the right, but this newbie and behind you, on the side of you, in front of you, they go straight over the pothole, right? Straight over the little dip, okay? Because they don't know that it exists. That's kind of how mentorship is. Hey guys, it's Dr. Sonia here with Jump First. Say it with me. Done is better than perfect. Master one thing at a time. Practice makes better. And this has to work. Let's get it. Hello. What is going on? Great morning, evening, afternoon. Let me know where you are watching from, my awesome party peeps. I always say party peeps because I feel like it's always a party, okay, when we get together as high performers, high achievers, and we start talking about goals, desires, beliefs, right, and how we can elevate together. And so if that is your jam, if you're interested in learning more about premium courses, whether online or face-to-face, you love the coaching aspect, or you want to figure out how you can package your expertise into the format of a luxury coaching and mentorship program, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell notification, and the like button so we can continue to spread this message globally, but also so you know when more live episodes like this drop and we can come hang out. You can ask questions. I love interacting with you all. All right, let me know inside of the chat whether you're watching the live or the replay, where you are currently watching from, or what time it is. Okay, I'm always interested in the global reach of these videos and episodes. So let's get into the topic for today. You don't have to believe it. I know that sounds like vague, but here's the thing. Here's where I was going with that, right? You don't have to believe in the thing that you actually want, like in the desire. And I know that sounds abstract, but let's be for real. How many of us want things or have these desires, but we're not sure how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, right? If it's going to happen. Sometimes we start to doubt our own abilities, our expertise, our life experiences, our own wisdom sometimes. And I think that's totally normal. I think it's natural. I think it's human. I think, though, that we need to be diligent about overcoming the self-doubt, okay, and overcoming not believing our desires. But here's the caveat to that. This is why one of the reasons I go so hard for mentorship and coaching and making sure you have someone in your corner who's going to be able to not necessarily push you, but that's important too sometimes, but someone who's going to be able to hold your vision for you, because sometimes it gets a little hard, okay? You don't have to believe it. You just have to be willing. That's it. You just have to be willing to step outside of your box, to step outside of your comfort zone, willing to try something new, try something different to see if it'll work. A lot of times we're just wasting time. Okay, because all the other resources required to achieve our desires and the things that we actually want, we already have them. Whether it's, money, whether it's knowing the right people, being in the right rooms, we have access to that. We are able to do those things because I always say money replenishes, right? The access to different rooms, people come around and some people leave and some people are seasonal, some people are for a lifetime, right? But the one thing that never replenishes, the one thing that we cannot ever get back is our time. So a lot of times we're just wasting time, okay, waiting for the right time. But you don't have to necessarily believe your desires completely 100%, okay, in the space that you're in. You just have to be willing. You just have to be willing to go forward. What's going on, Jaren? It's good to see you on. Stinkums, your screen name. I appreciate you being on. It says time is the ultimate currency. Absolutely. Like, that's just it. And I have so many people who, come work with me, clients, students, mentees, like that's what they value. Like they're buying time back. Like you get to a certain point and you're just like, you start realizing like, man, that's the one thing that I feel like we can't go back and get the time, but we can take our time back here and now. Okay. Jay Vans, what's going on? It's good to see you all on this morning. And so I needed to bring that, like, you don't have to believe, again, fully your desires or the things that you want. You don't have to believe that it's quite possible in this moment. I want us to get to that point. But the point of the matter is, like, even if we don't believe fully right now, we are willing to step outside of our comfort zone. We are willing to take the next step. How often, like, have you been on a road in your hometown or somewhere that you frequented, right? Maybe you're on your way to Chick-fil-A or somewhere, right? I have cut out Chick-fil-A, by the way, because oh my God. I used to eat Chick-fil-A all the time because it was right down the street, and I was like, I can't keep doing this. Plus, the recipe changed, and I don't really know if I like it a lot. What's going on, Keegan, Xavier? Hello, hello. Doing good. I hope y'all are well. But how many times have you like traveled to a certain place and you've done it over and over every single day? So you kind of can go on autopilot, you know what I mean? And just kind of get there. Not to say that you shouldn't be paying attention on the road, but you are on autopilot. You know how to get there. You know what you're supposed to be doing. And then there's a new driver. There's somebody who, it doesn't necessarily have to be a novice driver, right? But there's somebody who doesn't frequent that area. And maybe you've experienced this too, I'm sure. Like, we use navigation to get places. Okay, remember when we used to have, like, sidebar, we used to have to buy the navigational systems from like Best Buy and stuff, like the store. And now they're right on our phone, right? So you get a newbie on this road and they don't realize that maybe there's a pothole or there's a little dip in a specific area. You know, because you're used to traveling that road, you get to go around the dip. So maybe you kind of veer to the right. But this newbie and behind you, on the side of you, in front of you, they go straight over the pothole, right? Straight over the little dip, okay? Because they don't know that it exists. That's kind of how mentorship is. Your mentors guide you around those dips. They guide you around the potholes. They guide you around the places, your blind spots, the places that you cannot see or do not know because you've never traveled that road. And so that's why I say, like, maybe it's not believable for you right now, whatever it is that you desire, what you want. But if you are willing to take the step, okay, then you start to see things differently because now you have a guide, especially when you grab a mentor. Ian Cello, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Hello, hello. What's going on, y'all? I appreciate y'all being so interactive in the chat as well. I appreciate y'all being on, and I'm hoping that your day is off to an amazing start, depending on where you're watching from. Let me know what time it is, where you are currently watching, or where you're watching from. I'd love to see the global reach of these episodes. And so the other example that I can give to kind of make this make sense is, have you ever lived with someone, okay? And it can be like kind of annoying when somebody starts putting things in places that you are needing to be in. Like, for instance, somebody might set a bowl in a place that you are constantly reaching up in the cabinet for, and they move the bowl, okay? And you're looking for the bowl because that's your favorite bowl, but you can't find it, all right? Or someone puts something in your way. Maybe you're walking around before you turn the lights on or before the sun comes up, all right, in the dark, and you stumble over something because there's something in the way that's not normally there when you're, you know, performing your daily activities. Again, these are things that happen in mentorship. Mentorship can help you avoid, right, things being out of place or you stumbling over things that don't necessarily need to be there. A lot of times those things are happening unintentionally. So you just don't know what you don't know until you take the step. The other example that I can give to make this make sense, I know we've all been in buildings where the lights automatically come on, right? So with every single step, there's a light overhead that will turn on. One of the most recent series that I got to watch is Severance. I don't know if y'all saw this on Apple TV, but that show was quite interesting. But I always think about that show now. It's kind of stuck in my head. Like, you know, every single time Mark would walk down the hallway or anybody would walk down the hallway, the light overhead would turn on exactly where they were. So it's kind of like that. Like, mentorship is like that. Like, finding somebody that can guide you through the darkness, not literally, right, but figuratively, guide you around obstacles, you know, show you exactly where to step, where not to step, as you navigate some new terrain, as you navigate something that you've never done before. Again, you don't have to believe that it's possible. You just have to be willing. I'll also say this happens a lot inside of my programs. I teach premium courses for those of you who are not familiar with what we're about on this channel. Mostly premium courses, luxury mentorship and coaching programs, and teaching you how to package your life experience, your knowledge, your wisdom into those formats so you can start reaching people with your message as well. And I know for a lot of people that is new, whether you already have a business or you're just starting your entrepreneurial journey. It's new. It's new territory to create a course to start to teach. It's very different from just giving advice, right? So the way that you package courses, pro tip, is going to be different because you are teaching somebody else exactly what they need to do to achieve one of the results that you were able to get, right? It's something that you've been able to do. So I appreciate you, Jigs, what's going on? It's good to see you on. JRG 8000, what's going on? And so with that being said, a lot of my clients, right, come into my programs and they're like, there's no way I could charge, $4,000 or $5,000 for a course. Well, first of all, let me put this here and clarify this straight out. It's not just a course that you're creating when you come into my mentorship programs. You are essentially creating your own mentorship program. This is something that is not a one-off course. It's not something that someone will go through one time and be one and done. You're creating a transformation, a lifelong transformation for somebody else. So you're teaching, you're packaging all those life experiences that you have, the wisdom that you have gained, and you're putting that into a program. It can't fit into one course. Think about how long it has taken you to learn some of the things that you've learned. It may be 10 years, 15 years. I always say if you're 10 years old watching this, you already have a decade worth of experience. And I know sometimes we minimize like what kids go through or what we go through as kids, but like they're going through some real stuff, y'all. Okay, there are things that every single level that you go to in life, you can look back on and teach somebody else to help them avoid the potholes, to help them avoid the dips in the road, okay, to help them avoid the same mistakes that you made. Again, even if you're 10 years old, okay, maybe you have a hobby, and I know my niece likes nails, okay, so she's gotten really good at doing her own nails these days, and I'm like, I love it. She's come a long way from press-ons, all right, and so I love that. And I'm talking about like the press-ons with the little sticky thing underneath. And so every time I see her, I compliment her on her nails because they look better and better and better. And she just keeps getting better. So again, that's something that she could teach to someone who may be a year younger than her or 2 years younger than her, right? And my niece is 12. She just turned 12. Yeah, 12. I'm like, oh my God, is she 13 yet? But she just turned 12. And so again, no matter how old you are, like you have experiences that can be packaged, and you have taken the time to hone a skill set, to learn from your experiences. And so you can teach somebody else those things, but you can't put everything in one course. And so that's why we create mentorship programs, coaching programs that help your people get the long-lasting transformation and not just receive more information. Okay, you see the $97 course or $297 course, and I'm not saying that those courses can't be beneficial. I'm saying that they don't allow you to go deeper, deep enough with the people that you really want to serve to help them achieve the transformation they're looking for, the sustainable transformation. And that's why we do premium courses. Okay, so they are programs that we are putting together. So when you think about that, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You don't have to believe initially that you can charge $4,000 or $5,000. Get started, okay? Start. You just have to be willing to start. And when I say start, I mean sometimes we don't know what we don't know, so we can't do it alone. So having a mentor, having a guide, having somebody who's already navigated that terrain or already navigated that space and made the mistakes for you is so much better than you trying to skip the potholes on the way, okay, to the road that you have never been on before. All right, does that make sense? I'm hoping that that makes sense. And this is the reason why I say just step into it, okay, especially if you know you're being called to it. Just step into it and stop negotiating your desires. Stop negotiating the things that you actually want. You do not have to compromise, no matter how much time it is going to take for you to achieve and get the thing you want. Never, ever compromise it. Okay? Never compromise your truest desires, because then you just keep putting it off, and it goes back to exactly what I talked about at the top of this episode. If you're just tuning in, go back and watch the whole thing, but it goes back to time. You can't get it back. So why, if the time is going to pass anyway, why not spend it heading towards your goals, heading in the direction that you said you wanted to go? If you're telling yourself something, and I want to put this here because I want more people to, when people ask you, who do you admire? I want more people to, yes, there may be people, outside influencers and people that we look up to, but do you admire you? Do you admire yourself? Are you proud of yourself? The things that you've been able to accomplish? That sense of admiration and that sense of pride comes from you keeping the promises that you made to yourself, from you doing exactly what you said you were going to do. Okay, so stop negotiating your desires, stop negotiating the promises you make to yourself, stop compromising the things that you actually want, and go get them. Okay, grab a mentor. If you need some help putting together your courses, your premium level courses, luxury coaching and mentorship programs, and you want some help designing them so that they're unique to you, your business, your personality, and who it is that you are, your purpose, and how you want to show up in this world, go to jumpfirstacademy.org to get started. Again, it's jumpfirstacademy.org in order to get started. Once you're there, there is a free training, takes 30 minutes or less. There are also free resources as well as paid resources that will help you get started and help you start navigating exactly how to start creating your course from your topic to your content to actually starting to scale. There's lots of examples over there to get you started as well. So you choose your own path. Once you get to jumpfirstacademy.org, choose the free resources, or you also have access to paid resources. I love y'all so much. That's all I wanted to bring today. Again, to round this out, you don't necessarily have to believe in your desires 100%, because a lot of times as high performers, we're so focused on how are we going to get there? How is it going to happen? How are we going to get it done? Okay. And that causes some of that belief to falter. So you don't have to believe in it 100%, but you just have to be willing to take the next step and move your goals forward. I love y'all. I hope this is helpful. Make sure you send this to somebody else who needs it, and I will see y'all back here tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Bye, y'all.